Blindside. Subject, former NFL player Michael Oher alleges Tuohy, is that their name?
Tuohy.
Tuohy made millions off a lie.
That's their name.
You know, I remember when this movie came out, and I remember watching this movie, and it just seemed, now this is going to sound crazy. It reminded me a lot of Monster Ball. The reason why I say that is because it was just so much sad, they just made him so pathetic. They just made it like, damn, these white people gotta save him. They didn't make him pathetic.
They made him dumb. That's what they made him.
It was just like, they really sold it as these white people had to just save him, not only from his surroundings, but himself. They made the son teach him how to play sports, and when they just made him just this big, goofy dude. Well, now he's saying that they made
that movie was horrible, feeding the nigga chicken in the closet.
Bruh, it was crazy. That movie was crazy, bruh. I'll never forgive him for that movie. So, Oher, whose life story became the subject of the Oscar-winning 2009 movie, is suing the Tennessee couple.
Did y'all see the pictures that's out there with him
and the wife
and the daughter?
Now let me say this: Travis was on this years ago. Cause remember, this Oher dude, he's been talking bad about this movie since like 2011, 12. He been said, I don't like this movie. This movie did a poor representation of me in the story. Travis was saying back then that the mama was on something else with him.
I said he was hitting the mom and the daughter.
I don't know about it, because there was a picture of him in like a group photo with his arm around them, and the husband was just standing off to the side.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know. I ain't gonna say they was doing nothing, but it was kind of weird.
Kiefer said the movie sucked, couldn't finish it.
Yeah, it was bad. Former NFL star, I don't know if I could say he was a star, Michael Oher, whose inspirational life story became a subject of Oscar-winning 2009 movie The Blind Side, is suing a Tennessee couple who took him in as a teenager. He was 16, right?
He was 16.
All right. Oher, 37, who won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens during 8 seasons in the NFL, alleged in a legal petition filed on Monday that Leigh Anne Tuohy and her husband, Sean Tuohy, tricked him into signing away control of his financial affairs. He alleged in the filings that instead of being legally adopted by the Tuohys, as he was told, the Tuohys instead established a conservatorship over which allowed them to profit from his name. The lawsuit, which seeks to dissolve the as that the Tuohys used their control over Oher's affairs to rake in millions of dollars from the success of The Blind Side. Now, the film earned more than $300 million at the box office and earned a Best Actress Oscar for Sandra Bullock, who played whatever. He wrote a book or a memoir in 2006 of the same name. Charts the story of how Michael Lewis, wrote a book about him in 2006. Also, Michael Oher, he has a memoir. So,
Law said anybody who made a bag off that movie professional scammers, I salute you.
However, Oher's lawsuit says the premise of the film, its adoption by the Tuohys, is false. The live Michael adoption is one upon which Leigh Anne Tuohy and Sean Tuohy have enriched themselves at the expense of their ward. The unsigned Michael Oher, the legal filing says. So basically, when he was 16, he went in with them. They told him they want to live with him. They ended up having him right over his control of his financials and all that other stuff. Sounds really right over the control of his life. They end up allegedly had like a movie they tried to get financed through their neighbor. And that led to them getting a deal to get the movie done. Apparently the two parents and their biological two kids were paid $250,000. He didn't get nothing. They then got 2.5%. This is what Travis found. They got 2.5% of the proceeds or the revenue of the movie. So they're still getting checks.
Yeah.
He didn't get nothing.
That's his dumb ass.
Now, yeah, we're going to make Travis stand on that too. Now, Travis said he just dumb. Now, it says that the Blindside lawsuit Tuohy family intends to end conservatorship for Michael Oher. So they responded. You saw this already? You know what they said?
Okay. No, I didn't see that. Sorry.
He fought a petition. Court shows or signed whatever. So now they're saying
Dirty.
He did. He got that.
He got that wop.
He got that bunny ranch away. Lawyer Steve said that Tuohy's wealth outside of Oher, who made more than $30 million during his 8-year NFL career, was more than enough. They don't need his money. They never needed his money. Mr. Tuohy sold his company for $220 million. Who coached the board both in high school and collegiate level, as a head football coach, as an assistant coach at the University of Mississippi. Wait. Now, we were talking about how we know there's a lot of families, especially wealthy families. They have this thing they do where they adopt really black kids from poor neighborhoods that have a promise in athletics or something like that. So they go get some dude who play high school basketball or football who got a 40-inch vertical or run a 4.3, and they'll bring them to the suburbs and groom them to go into the NFL. They'll sign deals with shoe companies, colleges to make sure they go a certain route. It's like they funnel them to a certain college. So it just so happened the same guy who coached him in high school also went with him to go coach on the college level. So we know sometimes it'd be the parents. We know coaches are heavily into, especially the AAU level. Coaches make sure they convince the player to go to a certain college based off a shoe company. So if Nike is sponsoring an event and they want him to go to Kentucky or they want him to go to Duke, then the coach will sway him to go to one of those colleges. So that might be something that's going on with this.
True.
So now they're saying they willing to let it go. We didn't need his money and all this other stuff. And
Brilliantly flawed said never needed his money, just made a bag off of his likeness.
Exactly. So now we found out that they're worth about $100 million, even though they said that she sold his company for $220 million.
Well, they own franchises like Taco Bell. I think they own 115 Taco Bells and KFCs and Freddy's.
They own a lot of restaurants. They got
restaurant franchises.
Yeah, so the money is long. They got a lot of money. It's just,
but it don't hurt to get more money.
It never hurts to get more money,
so
especially when you talk about back then. You want to make it ain't just about making money. It's also about building a relationship. We don't know why they convinced him to possibly go to a certain college or something. It might have been some business deal they had going with something else. Just build some friendship here to help you out over here. So we don't know. We already know that he's seeking separation. Now people are bringing up his now wife, who he married last year. But before we get to that, I want to show this video. Because as Travis said, there are some people who look at this story and say, you can't be adopted at that age. Why did you think you could? You were almost 18. Some people are saying he was just stupid. What did you see that made you think that?
Because I'm going to the age where the movie came out when he was 23 years old. He wasn't a child.
Yeah.
So I feel like he should have gained enough experience to be like, okay, they're doing a movie about my life and I'm not receiving any proceeds from the movie.
Maybe he was just naive to the family. Oh, sorry. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Got a little phone call. All right, I'm gonna play this video. So you said the reason why you think he was dumb is because of what you saw.
I didn't say what I said.
All right, go ahead.
There ain't nothing else to say.
You didn't
That's
finish.
what I did. I'm finished with saying what I had to say.
Well, I'm lost. I'm off track now because of the phone. What did you say?
I'm not repeating myself. Just hit the play button. They heard me.
It up to questions. I think I and everyone who reads this book comes away from it wondering what happens to Michael. One of the first things I did after I read it was go on Google and look him up. Can you give us an update on how he's doing academically?
If you Google him now, I Google him now. He's on the Dean's List at Ole Miss. which is says a lot about the teams listed Ole Miss. But you know what? Miss, which is says a lot.
Now listen to this.
Google him now. I Google him now. He's on the dean's list at Ole Miss, which is says a lot about the dean's list at Ole Miss.
He says he's on the dean list at Ole Miss, which says a lot about Ole Miss. So he's saying the fact that he's on the dean's list is a poor representation of their education level at that school.
But you know what? In fairness to Michael, Bear Bryant had that funny line. The former coach of Alabama Crimson Tide once said to a reporter, "We want to have a school that makes the football team proud, or that the football team can be proud of." A lot of these schools sort of have inverted their purpose in life. That there are schools like Ole Miss, but Ole Miss is not even the best example, that seem to exist mainly so that they can sustain a football team. And they then take these kids, many of whom are from the underclass, poor black kids from ghettos around America, and let them into the school, get them in however they can get them in, and then they create a track for them inside the school. And the track is not designed for them to get an education or even to actually engage with the school outside of the football team in any way. It's designed to keep their grade point average to the level where they can continue to play football. And if you watch the serious football schools, Florida State's probably the best, on TV, they're always selling you the idea, of course, the NCAA, they're always selling you that this is actually a school behind this football team. And
so you get what he's saying. Basically saying they put these kids through the system, make sure they can play sports. They don't care about the actual education. Which is funny, guy.
I want them to have a slave mentality mind.
Who?
These kids. They're not being educated. They're not being informed. They're just playing sports.
You saying they have a slave mentality?
The kid, the ones that the athletes.
Well, they see it as an opportunity to get out of the hood. To get their mom out of the hood.
Is it an opportunity to get out of the hood?
Yes, they got a chance to go to the NFL. Now you can get NIL.
You get out of the hood and gain what? Money? But you don't gain any knowledge, any understanding.
They don't care. They want to get out of the hood.
That's the point. They don't care.
That's the. I don't know. Okay, I guess I agree. I'm saying they want to get out of the hood, get some money to get their mama out of there, buy her house. That's all they care about. I remember a little while ago. I remember.
But that's why they don't maintain the wealth.
That's part of it. A lot of these colleges like Oregon, Alabama, these real big schools, Ohio State, Florida State, they have these extravagant locker rooms. Like it's just TVs all over the place, lounges, bowling alleys, whole rooms dedicated to video games with big TVs. And they do that so that the players don't feel the need to, like you said, go around campus.
Nigga, you living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not living paycheck to paycheck.
They want to keep the athletes away from the rest of the students. They don't want the athletes to leave the training facility. They want you to stay over there, stay with the sports. Don't go on campus and wander around and try to frolic with the other students. Just stay over there. That's how they look at the athletes when they come to their schools. Like Duke, North Carolina, they all have this program created to make sure you go exactly where they want you to go. I remember I saw a story a few years ago of a dude who was in the NFL. He got injured, CTE. I think he was in his late 20s maybe, and he couldn't read. He was with married with a child, and he was learning how to read with his son. It was crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like that. All right, let's move to the next part. Let's go. This right here is a picture somebody pointed out. It said, never forget when the mother, Tuohy, racially profiled two black boys and then turned them into a feel-good post. She said that she gave them money and tried to help them out. Neither one of these kids needed money. They weren't poor black kids. These are just two random black kids that she assumed was broke and thought they needed help from her. This is the white savior complex that they have, which is why I think that has something to do with why they did that with Michael Oher. This is Michael Oher's wife. Immediately when people found out she was married to a black woman, they immediately started saying, oh, that's why he trying to fix stuff from in the past. Because they assumed that she's the one that got him to start going back and looking at stuff and correcting certain things. But he's known this woman since he was in college. He has 4 kids with her. So that has nothing to do with.
And he just now married her?
I guess so. He got 4 kids with her. They've been together since his sophomore year in college. So they married now. She hung in there.
Nothing new in it. Oh, that's bad. She has to hang in there.
She hung in there. All right.
Now that he has no ties with Leigh Anne, he's marrying her.
Leigh Anne was the side, was the main. Which one?
Leigh Anne was the main. She was the side.
She couldn't be. She went with the kids and living with them. A few people on
you feel like it ain't side chicks out here that got kids, and they not the main.
You living.
How we know she was living in a house with them?
They been together. What are you talking about?
They could be together for all these years, but live in different households.
They did live together.
People break up, get back together, break up, get back together.
A few people on social media want Sandra Bullock to return her Oscar. Nobody was saying this. This is just the root. Nobody was taking it that serious. Nobody gave a fuck about no damn Oscar. So now this is
There's
the root.
fiction stories out there all the time.
Huh?
So there's stories that are not true out there all the time, and people win Oscars off of them.
Exactly. So this is them lying on black. They're trying to say that Black Twitter said this, and nobody was saying this. This is them trying to just use that energy to create a false narrative. That's just the root for you.